Alright, here's another Rise of the Eldrazi draft. This is the first pick. I thought I'd talk a little bit about flexibility, which is that flexibility you got to think of as sort of a resource that you're trying to maintain as much as you can throughout the draft. So early on, flexibility is extremely important. Flexibility is more important than power level often. And as you move through the draft, flexibility and power level sort of pass each other at some point, and power level and consistency start to be more important as part of your deck. So, to that point in a pack like this, Wall of Omens is a good card because it's very flexible. It's a cantrip. It's a solid card. White is almost always open, so you can take it without being too worried about it. It's also by far the best card in this pack. The Pawn of Ulamog is probably the only thing that comes close. So, here's the second pack, and once again, sort of continuing the vein of flexibility, Flame Slash is a very flexible card. You can splash a third color in the set almost all the time, and Flame Slash is a great card to splash because it's extremely effective at killing guys, including Drana and some other fatties, Wild Heart Invoker, some other good guys like that. Fully leveled up Knight of Cliffhaven. Regress is another very flexible card, as is Dreamstone Hedron. Again, in this set, some of the most flexible cards are the colorless Eldrazi cards, or artifacts, because you can play them in any deck. Obviously, the Hedron is better in a control deck or a ramp deck than it is in some kind of, beater style fast red-green deck, but it can be effective in those decks too. It can even be effective in a level deck to help you level faster. Anyway, of all these, I think the Flame Slash is the pick. I think the second choice was the Knight of Cliffhaven there, and that was really close, but Flame Slash is overall more powerful. So, Surreal Memoir is not a very flexible card because you have to be in a very narrow strategy to take it. This is a card that's much better in the second and third pack than it is in the first pack. Moving along to Guard Duty, which goes well with my white, or Caravan Escort, which is a threat. So you basically have an answer and a threat. Both are good cards. Approximate power level is pretty close. They both cost the same amount. This is better in a deck that wants to win quickly. This is better in a deck that wants to fly over the top usually. I'm already started in sort of the defense vein, so I'm more inclined to take a Caravan Escort. I could also go over into green with this Aura Gnarlid, but I think I'm better off staying in white. I'm going to go with the Caravan Escort. So, this is going to be a key pick for the draft because the Hada Spy Patrol is a very good card to be in this late. The McKinley Griffin is a very good card also, and not a sign that white is open in general. These guys tend to wheel around. They fly around, really, at an alarming rate, which is wrong. They shouldn't be in packs as late as they are, I would argue. So these are two cards I'm very interested in. I could potentially be blue-white levelers with the Caravan Escort and the Hada Spy Patrol. On the other hand, I could move into white-green with something like Broodwarden, Ondu Giant. Those are both top-quality cards as well. Or I could think about going red-green and ignoring my Caravan Escort and Wall of Omens. I think Hada Spy Patrol is the best card in this pack anyway, though, and I like white-blue levelers as an archetype. I think it's quite good. Okay, so here's the next pack. Once again, as I'm moving through this pack, my tendency to pick the more flexible card will be replaced by my tendency to pick the card that's continuing my choices. So, in this pack, probably the most flexible cards are Smite, Regress, and Emerge Unscathed. These are really lightweight cards that you can use in a variety of decks, control or otherwise. Mostly control, really, but Emerge Unscathed is good for a deck that wants to beat down because you stop them from controlling you. But Kabira Vindicator is quite a good leveler. And he makes all of my other guys better. Obviously, that is his strength. So I'm gonna go with him. Probably gonna play white at this point. It would take a lot of cards to off balance this as at least a secondary color. I could definitely end up in blue or red or even something else as my main color, possibly. So in this pack, Survival Cache stands out as the card that I might play. I think this card is better than most people think it is. Generally, you are going to be drawing 2 cards and gaining 4 life with this card. It can be bad if you draw it late in a long, drawn-out game where you haven't been so conservative or so lucky with how the game's gone. But it's the best card in that pack for me, for sure. Okay, well, now I am kind of wishing I had taken that guard duty. Maybe it'll come around. Guard duties can make it around. But the Totem Guide Hartebeest is much better than any of these other cards. And this will give me a reason to pick up auras. There's plenty of good ones, so I'm not too worried about that. So I could get another Survival Cache, but I probably wouldn't want to play more than one anyway. And black's not out of the question. Black-white levelers is an archetype. It's not a great one. Grotog Siege Runner I like. And this deck could end up being kind of an aggro deck. So this might be playable in the deck. It's generally an okay card. I think I'm going to take the Gloom Hunter because I could end up splashing black or in main black with a couple of Vendettas if that happens. Possibly a Corpse Hatch would push me in that direction, something like that. A Drana, a Goldra's Assassin. Black has a lot of guys that you open up pack 2, pack 3, and you go, oh man, I guess I'm black. So here's a Soul's Attendant. I think I like that. I can take another Gloom Hunter. That's fine. The other option here is an Inquisition of Kozilek, which can get a lot of cards. I mean, look at my deck right here. Inquisition of Kozilek gets every single card that I have except for Kabira Vindicator and Totem Guide Hartebeest. That's pretty good. I'm going to take another Gloom Hunter. And I will gladly take another Soul's Attendant, which get better with each copy. And I'll take the rare. Alright.